You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Hello, pet parents. This is Michelle Fern, host of Best Bets for Pets on Pet Life Radio. Okay, great show today. It's all about dogs and sharks. Yes, dogs and sharks. Stay tuned. We'll be right back right after this break.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Yuppie Puppy City Kitty provides pet lovers an opportunity to earn up to 50% commission selling our premium pet products. Advocate Gina Brick says, the opportunity to share such a quality product line with other pet lovers is amazing. The support of the Yuppie Puppy City Kitty family while working the business is a true gift. Mention special code PETLIFE when you enroll today and receive 3 additional products free. Find us at www.ypckpets.com. That's ypckpets.com.
It's hard to find time for your furry family member. That's where Camp Bow Wow comes in. All-day play and overnight camp, daycare and boarding for dogs. Everything is included. Large play areas for fun and exercise. Spacious cabins, comfy cots, even live camper cams to watch from a computer or smartphone. Camp Bow Wow offers the best care and is the place to go where a dog can be a dog. For locations and more information, visit campbowwow.com.
Let's talk pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I would like to introduce Kristina Guerrero. She is the CEO of TurboPUP and a United States Air Force veteran. And Daymond John, who is the founder and CEO of FUBU, the star of ABC's Shark Tank, and the CEO of Shark Branding. Welcome, Kristina and Daymond.
Thank you.
So today, you guys have a great product that, Kristina, you invented and Daymond has invested in called TurboPUP. Let's give everybody who hasn't heard about it maybe a little bit of history. So, Kristina, tell everybody what is TurboPUP?
So TurboPUP, the first products we've launched are complete canine meal bars. They're made with 100% grain-free, all-natural, human-grade, American-sourced ingredients, and they're basically dog meals for your dog on the go.
And Daymond, you found out about Kristina. She was on Shark Tank, and I actually watched the episode, and I thought it was amazing. What did you think about the product as it was discussed and, right in front of you right there on the show? What were your thoughts?
I mean, I thought that it was a new twist to basically, to solve a problem. I didn't even realize that the problem existed, until she told me, on the show, on the stage, what she had experienced when she was hiking, and then she looked down and she really didn't, have anything for her dog. And, and then it struck me. I do go hiking with my dogs, and often I have to go, back to the car and take out a bag of kibble or carry something in my book bag, and it just made sense. And, us as humans, we do the same thing. We don't run around with a whole set meal in our book bags necessarily, and a lot of times we do the same thing as a meal bar, so why wouldn't our dogs be able to experience the same thing as us?
Exactly. I think that's what a lot of consumers think, that just, little kibble, little treat, and exercising your dog either at the dog park or hiking is enough, but it's not. And Kristina, how did you go about with the idea of inventing TurboPUP?
Well, my husband is a food scientist, so I collaborated with him. I said, do you think this is something we could make? And I was really excited about the entire process. And I was telling him, we can launch this in a month or two. And as I began investigating, that's when I realized that, there is such a thing called AFCO, and they regulate what is considered a dog food and what's not. And that I had a lot of work in front of me to make a meal that, it's basically like a power bar for your dog. So making a meal out of that's that kind of size. And, it was just a lot of work, a long road.
Now, I think both of you have pets at home. What kind of pets do you have?
Well, I have 2 Dachshunds and 2 Chihuahuas, so I have a whole bunch of the little guys running around. And I think that's it for right now. My kids bring home a different dog every day. That's why I got some time to account.
Now, people wouldn't think little dogs go on hikes, but they do. They need their exercise, too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. They're very, very active, and I bring them around everywhere, so it's still the same. It still solves the same problem.
And Kristina, what kind of dog do you have? Or do you have other animals, too?
I have 2 rescue dogs. One I adopted in 2006. The other one I adopted in 2013. I have 2 wild Mustangs. They're horses that are both gentles, and we also have chickens. And, I just want to say it's really interesting that you brought up the little dog. Do they go hiking? I'd want to say that it's not just about going hiking. I had the idea while hiking, but it's really about when you take your dog out. Society has changed where people take their pets everywhere, and quite often you'll find yourself out, who knows where and how far from their dog food. And so it's a solution to not just hiking, but anytime you're out with your dog.
So what's the difference in, if I was going out with my, taking my dog out for the day or running a bunch of errands, and I took my dog with me to the vet and maybe to the groomer and so forth, and what's the difference between taking just a little kibble and taking a TurboPUP bar?
Well, it depends what you're packing. Kibble is, nutritious. It's dog food. But are you bringing enough? Are you bringing enough to meet their caloric needs at that moment? Also, then you need a bowl, and then you take the time and you feed them. The nice thing about the TurboPUP bars, you just take it right out of the label. You know what you're giving them. They break really easy, and they're really easy on the digestive system. And so, a lot of it's convenience, but you're also giving them something that's very nutrient dense.
And you told me you have 2 dogs. Kristina, what kind of dogs do you have?
They're both rescue dogs. One is a Chow mix, and the other one's a German Shepherd mix. I like to say they're a mix of everything good.
Okay, so we have 2 different kind of dogs, same as our test studio, because we have a Havanese and we have a rescue dog that's like a Border Collie mix. So I like that Daymond has some smaller dogs and you have some larger dogs. Now, usually the smaller dogs are pickiest. So Daymond, how do your dogs like TurboPUP?
Oh, well, the Chihuahuas are picky, but the Dachshunds, they eat everything. They have no problem, and they love the product. They almost look at it as a treat half the time. And then also, my stepfather has a 400-dog no-kill shelter as well, so sometimes we go and, we take the dogs out, and we also bring the TurboPUP as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. Why do you think, this is for Daymond, a question, you've been on Shark Tank for 6 years, you've seen a lot of different products. Why do you think no one's thought about a product like TurboPUP, one of these energy type bars for dogs?
You know what? I don't know, and that's exactly the reason why I found it fascinating. I decided to do the investment and partner up with Kristina because, on Shark Tank, we find ourselves in that predicament often. Why didn't I think of that? And if you're fortunate enough to partner up with somebody who did think of that and they have a passion for it, that's the entire reason that we do the show, and that's the entire reason you see all these success stories, and it gets people excited about the show because it takes somebody like a Kristina who has a passion for dogs, who have served our country and has a very strong discipline and a big work ethic to just say, I'm not going to wait for somebody else to create it. I'm going to create it. I'm going to bust my butt to get it out there because I think that it's needed. And so I think that summarizes the American dream, and it summarizes Shark Tank as well.
Oh, it's wonderful. And I don't know if I mentioned it before, but Kristina, thank you for serving our country. And I think many Americans listening out there all over the country, thank you as well. Now, with the TurboPUP bars, that comes in one form, and actually what I wanted to mention was I was lucky enough to meet both of you in person and interview at the Global Pet Expo. As soon as I got home or watching Shark Tank, because I was in the studio, we're big fans, and a lot of us, the show hosts, are big fans. What do we see? The update. So what's the exciting news? And I saw that and I thought, yay! Wow! I was like so excited. Now, what's the exciting news that you could share for people that maybe missed that update?
Kristina?
Wow, I'm sorry, I wasn't sure who we wanted to share. Well, we were fortunate enough to get launched in 900 PetSmart stores across North America and Canada and Meijer grocery stores, which is very exciting. And our other news from Global Pet Expo is that we are launching a snack line this summer.
Oh, that's going to be amazing. So what type, can you give us some hints on what the snack line will be like?
Yeah, I actually collaborated with a veterinarian who was in the Army, a really top-notch individual, which is a fun collaboration. But we are coming out with 4 products, 3 of them which are functional. One is skin and coat, one is hip and joint, and the other one is digestion, and a regular product, a regular snack. But, basically when we were collaborating, what we were going for was something nutritious and functional, and kind of where we also brought some naturopathic remedies into the snacks as well, into the formulas. So you'll see stuff like calendula and probiotics and chicory and just some really great ingredients.
Oh, that's fascinating. That's fabulous news. I can't wait till that's launched. So, Daymond, I have a question for you. Now, this is probably one of the best products I've ever seen on Shark Tank for pets. And just because people like to hear things that are pretty, interesting things, can you share with us, maybe not, maybe yes, I'm not sure, but can you share with us anything, the strangest pet product that was on Shark Tank?
The strangest pet product that was on Shark Tank. Yeah, I don't know if it's strange. It's very hard. But I remember the funniest one was the thing that I think it was season 1. Kevin Harrington invested in this. It's the one you can put on your toilet and the cat can pee in the toilet. I see the need for it, of course, because the less odor you have in the house, the best. But when they showed opening the door and the cat was peeing in the toilet, and then kind of interrupted the cat while he was going to the bathroom. I found that quite entertaining, and I just kept thinking about cats, slipping into the toilet. But I don't think that's about it. But there was no strange pet products. There's strange human products all the time, but really not strange pet products.
Okay, here's something funny. I think it was called City Litter or something like that, and they were actually on my show. But the week that she was supposed to be on my show was the same week it aired on Shark Tank, and she was so inundated with calls we had to delay it. But I agree with you. I just thought I wanted to try it, and I thought, yeah, the cat's gonna fall and it's in the commode. Now what do you do? And my cat and our tester, some people have seen pictures of the dentist. He's big. He's bigger than the Havanese. He's an eater for a cat. So I can't see him even trying to do that. But people live in condos, but I think your product is just a great product and very appropriate. Are there different flavors of TurboPUP?
Yeah, first, thank you for all the kudos. I really appreciate it. We have a peanut butter flavored and a bacon flavored product, and then they come as 1 bar or a pack of 2 bars.
And you said that you have some treats that are going to be launched in the summer. When should we start looking for them in our local stores?
I definitely look for them in July in Kroger stores.
Are there any questions that I did not ask that you'd maybe like to mention?
No, you've been very gracious on my side. I mean, really, I just really lean to Kristina to make the right decision. She's been doing a great job, and we obviously partnered with a company called Fetch that has been helping distribute, and they're really knowledgeable in the market. So yeah, we've been really fortunate with this situation, and getting the market has been really adopting the concept, and people such as yourself have been highlighting it. So I really feel confident about the product that it's going to keep growing.
Well, we're very excited to have you on the show. Do you guys do any rescue donations besides the one you mentioned earlier?
Yes, 5% of the profits from TurboPUP go toward veteran and to nonprofits in support of veteran and canine causes. We've done a lot of support with our local Central Oregon Humane Society. We are also the official dog food of National Association of Search and Rescue. So part of our profits go to them as well. And then I'm in the process of speaking with another nonprofit that I'm very interested in supporting.
Well, I thank you so much for that, because that is always wonderful to give back. So I just thank you so much. Now, people that are listening and want to find out more about TurboPUP, is there a website that they can go to?
Yes, absolutely. They can go to www.turbopup.com, and that's TURBOPUP as in puppy.com.
Okay, perfect.
I'm going to leave it up to you guys.
Okay, yeah, let me let you go. Daymond, thank you so much for coming on Best Bets for Pets.
All right, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. We're just going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back, right after we kibble a little with our sponsors.
He was malnourished and emaciated.
Constant scratching and just being unpleasant.
He was shedding excessively.
He was losing his fur.
Franklin was rescued from the streets of Los Angeles.
Bear was a rescue from the same shelter in Kansas City, Missouri that I got JJ the Terrier.
I found his raw meat diet, which is raw meat, eggs, rice, and Dinovite and Lico Chops. His omega-3 supplement on Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com. I've got my ground beef, the Dinovite, and I just mix it all together with the eggs and the shells.
Franklin, he's thriving. His coat is soft and shiny. He's shedding much less.
They're much happier. Their coats are better. Their behavior, especially their behavior, is better. How do you feed your shelter dog to derive a great attitude?
Start that little pet off right.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
Just go to Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Want to know who the latest trendsetters are in Hollywood? How about Irish setters? Find out who's been spotted with spots, chowing with their chow, and shopping for Gucci with their Poochie. Get the scoop on all the latest celebrity pet patter right here. Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Kristina, people are kind of old school about their pets. Most people feed their pets, some do it once a day, some twice a day. And when you have an active pet, there's kind of a new concept that you have to think a little bit differently about feeding your dog just as people. We don't only eat once or twice a day. A lot of people now, they say the best way to eat is graze, smaller meals throughout the day. What have you learned about that, for dogs, and how does TurboPUP help with that for dogs?
Yeah, Michelle, I totally agree. When we grew up, we fed our dog twice a day. We took our dog around the block to go to the bathroom. And that was kind of the most excitement our dog would see. I mean, that's kind of the way it was with domesticated animals. Now you have super active pet parents that take their dogs everywhere with them. And, again, it's not just about being active. It's just about taking your dog out. When I was living in the city, I would walk my dog around, and next thing I know, it would be 4 hours and we haven't gone home yet. And, it's something that I think that not enough people are aware of, that, if you're burning calories, your animal's burning calories. And calories require fuel, and that's what TurboPUP is. TurboPUP is fuel, versus a treat. I mean, it's kind of the difference between eating a nutritious power bar versus eating candy, So just giving your dog a treat isn't going to satiate their nutritional requirements. And that's kind of why I came out with these bars, because I realized it doesn't help to feed my dog junk. That's not going to be good for my dog. My dog's burning calories. My dog needs fuel. And how can I create the fuel to meet my dog's needs?
You know what? As I was thinking about the interview today, that's exactly how I figured it. I was thinking, to me, TurboPUP and what I've learned about it, it's like an energy bar for dogs. Like you have healthy energy bars for people. So I could eat some chips, which aren't going to they're going to give me empty calories, or I can eat an energy bar, which will replace the burned calories, but also give me nutrients.
Absolutely. And, when I mentioned before about, a long road and doing all my homework before I came out with these products, one of the things I learned, which was really shocking, and I'm sure you know this, Michelle, I didn't know this at the time, but dogs actually burn fat and protein as their main energy sources versus people who use carbohydrates as their main energy sources. So a lot of these treats that individuals are feeding their pets, thinking, he's a little hungry, let me give him a treat, are usually a lot of carbs. They're not really high in protein or fat. So I developed the bars to make sure that they were high in protein and fat, to make sure that the dog's nutritional needs are being met.
I think it's also important to mention, I know we talked about, because Daymond has smaller dogs and you have larger dogs, but do the TurboPUPs, I know they come in 1-pack size and 2-pack size, but you could break them into different feeding sizes, whether it's a larger piece or a smaller piece.
Yeah, and we kind of came out with a bar so that the standard 1-pack, the 1 bar in the pack, is 250 calories, which would be what a 10-pound dog would need for the day. So it's kind of one of those things that you can buy more to feed your dog, or you can buy it as a snack when they're out. But we kind of started with the idea of it's easier for people to buy more versus, have too many and then, have this excess.
Could you substitute TurboPUP if you're traveling as a meal?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. The bars meet the nutritional requirements set by AFCO for all life stages.
So that's another fantastic aspect of it. I mean, it's so much easier to travel with a couple of bars versus kibble and a container and making sure nothing gets in the kibble and all of that.
Yeah, and I actually flew with Odin, the dogs who I had on Shark Tank, and what I learned during our flight is that he needs, the FAA mandates that a dog needs to have what would be considered a full meal when they travel, just in case there are any delays. And it was really cool because he had his little TurboPUP bar taped on top of his kennel.
That's so cool. That's so cute. All right, so the question everyone's probably wondering that's listening out there is, what is it like to work with Daymond?
It is an absolute dream come true. I mean, you get on the show and you walk off and you wonder, am I going to ever hear from them again? Well, I did. And next thing I know, I'm in the Empire State Building on my way to a business meeting with him. He's so supportive. He was out at Global Pet Expo to support TurboPUP, to support the brand, to support the launch of our new line, and really he wrote this incredible book called The Power of Broke, and it's filled with so much of what he's about that it was great to read it because I was like, I get the, a personal version of this as well. So it just really makes me think even higher of him about what he's doing to support entrepreneurs out there and how he's sharing his own personal experiences to make other people better entrepreneurs.
And not to offend any of the other sharks, but he's one of my favorite. He always seems to be so thoughtful on the show, like he considers everything, thinks how it can work, how it cannot work. He's not like super reactive on, I don't want to offend any sharks, so but I
He's
just
my
like
favorite shark.
I'll just put it this way.
I'll go ahead and offend them. He's my favorite.
Well, I just love Shark Tank. I think it's great. I think it's a great show. I have a business background and I just think it's so fabulous. I learned so much. I think it should be a requirement for anyone in college to watch Shark Tank because you just learn so much. Thinking on your toes, what you should know about your business, when is it ready for an investment, and does it make sense? And Daymond, to me, is always the one that's very thoughtful and thinks about it. And, is this work? Is this something that I can, put toward, something I can add value to? Or is it just, it's not for me?
Definitely. It's funny when I was on the show, if and anybody who decides to watch it after hearing this interview, you'll notice that Daymond really doesn't say much the entire time I'm up there. And that was the way it was in real life too. He didn't say really anything. And then, at the very end, when he said the comment, well, if I partnered up with you, I would just have to take so much of your business, I realized, well, he didn't say he was out. It was a really beautiful click. There was a light bulb that went off in my brain where I was like, wow, he didn't say no. So it was really surprising for me because, I wouldn't have necessarily considered what I had to offer something the founder of FUBU, his expertise is obviously in clothing, would decide, hey, I want to get into the pet industry. So it's really great to have him in the pet industry now.
It is. I'd like to thank Kristina and Daymond for coming on Best Bets for Pets and telling us all about TurboPUP and a little about sharks and dogs. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
And for everyone listening, there will be more information on Pet Life Radio. Go to the Best Bets for Pets tab and go to the site where we will have the TurboPUPs, and there'll be a link to the website and a picture of the product. Wow, what a great interview. I am such a big fan of Shark Tank, and Daymond and Kristina were so wonderful to speak to. So I'm so grateful to have had them on Best Bets for Pets. You can find out more if you go to Pet Life Radio, go to the Best Bets for Pets tab, and look for the TurboPUP interview. And there'll be more about TurboPUP and a link to their website. I'd like to thank Mr. Z, Nikki, for trying out TurboPUP after a nice long walk. Oh man, did they love it. And I'd like to thank my producer, Mark Winter, for making me and my guests sound great. Stay tuned. There are more fabulous shows coming up.
Let's Talk Pets every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.